Hey everyone, love to welcome you to The Closing Table, a new kind of real estate, culture, and conversation show. Think of it like a home inspection for the world. We'll point out what looks good, what needs fixing, and what definitely needs to be negotiated. I am Ben Hawkins, better known as Len with Ben with Cornerstone Home Lending, and I'm joined by my co-host, Doug Yop, the owner of the Oceaneer Realty. Doug, how are you today?
Ben, I'm doing great. Good to be here with you. How are you?
Man, doing fantastic. I'm so excited for the show. I know we've got some great things lined up. It's going to be amazing. Would you like to tell our audience a little bit about what to expect?
Absolutely. Welcome, everybody. Appreciate you being here. Hope you're here and ready to have some fun with us. Basically, we're here to talk about real estate, but not just real estate life, because real estate is impacted by life, what's going on politically, culturally, socially, and we want to delve into all of that and really have fun with it. So you'll see our guide over on the left-hand side of the page, or right-hand side of the page, sorry. But we're going to talk through each of these themes with a different topic each week. Our goal is 2 minutes. Sometimes we might be a little bit long-winded, but while we got the timer here, we're going to keep things moving, keep things fun, keep things light, and provide some good information to have with you guys. So let's get things
And I
rolling.
love how
Ben,
our
are you
timer.
ready?
Hey, I'm ready, Doug. I love how our timer is a doorbell. By the way, it couldn't be
Yeah,
more
absolutely.
in sync with the show.
I hope that we can make it work just like this. Ding, ding. All right, let's go. It's time to open the door. Let's get opened on our first topic. So, today, our first topic, the theme is You're Approved. Ben, the topic, let's get right into the serious stuff 50-year mortgages. You've heard the talk about this. What are you thinking?
Here's the thing. I think there's good and bad, right? Obviously, we can look at the good first. Let's take a peek at that. You've got a situation where a 50-year mortgage obviously stretches out the amortization 20 more years over a 30-year fixed, which is the standard loan product that most folks get into. I think the 50-year will offer some folks out there that may not qualify for debt-to-income purposes. It will help them at least get the keys to the house until at a later date they can perhaps refinance into a shorter term. But it's definitely going to offer payment flexibility and payment relief for a lot of folks out there.
So, there's two sides to the coin, right? So, why do you think so much negativity has come out about this topic when it came up?
Well, because you're basically signing a note with the bank for half a century, right? My argument to that piece is, while that is true, most people that get a 30-year mortgage don't keep that mortgage for 30 years, right? I mean, that's the thing. That's the thing about it. And you can also make accelerated payments towards the principal balance at your leisure and at your affordability point. So, I mean, there's good and bad behind it. I think anything that can help folks within a reasonable a guideline set, a reasonable loan product that isn't a pay option arm or a balloon payment and all that kind of stuff that got us in a mess back in '07, '08. I think anything that can offer home buyers some relief right now while prices are still at a high level, I think it'll offer a lot of leeway for folks to be able to get the keys to their home at a more affordable level.
I mean, I agree with you. And my counterpoint would be people don't like that, your rate's going to be higher, you're going to pay all this interest over 50 years or whatever. You make a great point. People are keeping loans, what, on average 5 to 7 years, especially for a first time
Correct.
home buyer. How long are they holding on to those, and who is this really for? I think it's more for first time home buyers than anyone else. And if the alternative is paying rent and you're looking at a similar monthly payment, well, then what makes the most sense? Getting something of your own, starting to build equity, even if it's less equity than if you have a 30-year note, versus what else?
Right. It definitely is relief for first-time home buyers and folks that need it right now while the economy gets ramped up and things like that. I don't think it's a bad thing. It's all situational. Every mortgage product is situational based on the needs of the client.
So you're going to approve the 50-year mortgage, or no, not approved?
I mean, I approve it. I approve it at this point. Any option to help somebody get in with an affordable payment, I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
I'm with you. And I agree. I'm going to approve it too. All right, that's our timer. Let's move on to our next point. On the hunt. So let's have a little bit of fun. It's almost Thanksgiving, which means we're already in the Christmas season. My kids are a little bit older now. They're 16 and 13. They're not really as focused on Christmas presents anymore. We're focused more on a family as experiences. That's what we did last year. That's what
Love
we're
it.
trying to do this year. Just get out in the world and do stuff. But I know there are still really popular things. Soccer balls. We got the World Cup coming up next year. My kids love soccer. They wanted the World Cup balls. Tell us about Luke. What's he looking for? What are his friends looking for this year?
I mean, it seems like anything and everything. I'm sure V-Bucks for Fortnite will be a big to do, so he can buy more of the Fortnite skins and things like that. It'll be video game related, but also sports related too. I feel like every day is Christmas for Luke, though, it appears, because he always ends up with something. We go to Walgreens to get Band-Aids or soap or something, and he ends up walking out with some obscure toy that he may play with twice. I'm like you. I think experiences are what really matter, especially in our industry. Doug, you and I both work 24/7. I mean, we don't have days off with what we do. So I think building experiences and having those memories with our kids is way more important than just a secular toy.
I agree with you, and I love that too. And my wife and I made that decision last year. The thing was, she still ended up buying a lot of presents, so we're trying to temper that this year. You know what I mean? I mean, if we're going in on the experience, let's go in on the experience and not all the other stuff too, right?
Miss Amanda wants the best of both worlds. I understand
Yeah, she
completely.
does.
You know,
Yeah, she does. And I'm like
I,
looking at the
I,
bottom line.
I personally am still have some traumatic stuff from my childhood when I didn't get the GI Joe aircraft carrier. You know, the
Boom.
USS Flag. That just destroyed my life, Mom. If you're listening, I'm still not over it. I don't know what to do.
Well, so I was going to ask, what was your big item that you wanted that you got or that you didn't get? Sounds like it was the aircraft carrier. Ben, I'm sorry to tell you, I got the aircraft carrier. It's
Oh,
still in
come
my parents'
on.
attic. If you want to drive on up to Sneed's Ferry, you can probably pull it down out of the attic. See if you can piece it back together. It's all yours, brother. Just let me come over and play with it once you get it set up.
You know that thing's worth about $2,500 right now, Doug. You may want to think
Uh,
about that. You may want to
I don't know
retract
if I
that
got all the
statement.
pieces. I got a lot of. I
That's
got
all
a
right.
lot of.
Well,
I had a lot of fun with that though.
hey man, as well you should have. You lucky dog.
All right, let's move on to our next topic. That's our timer. Our next topic is lock it in. So in this section, we're going to talk about locking in something for this year, making our prediction where we're going to end up. Since we've been talking about rates and mortgage lengths a little bit earlier, let's talk about rates this year and where you think that we're going to finish 2025. We've got about 6 weeks left. What's your prediction for where the rate's going to be January 1st?
Well,
And do
you
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 think
know
it'll
if I
be
had a
above or below where we are now?
well, you do know if I had a crystal ball, I'd be a billionaire, right? So, so,
Right.
so
Yep.
I'm just giving my opinion of 16 years of experience. I've seen a lot of peaks and valleys and kind of seen where this thing is heading. I think for right now, through the end of the year, things are going to kind of hold flat, if you will. Now, rates have already come down over 1 percentage point from where we were quoting this time last year, which is a great thing. But I really don't see us under 6% on a conventional mortgage by the end of the year. I do think in the year coming in 2026, you will continue to see some relief as it pertains to mortgage interest rates. How fast we get there, though, who knows? I can't tell you this. As of right now, today, there are rates available in the high fives on government loans, VA, USDA, and FHA.
So you think we're going to hold pretty steady for where we are now until the end of the year?
I think so. I don't see enough activity and action going on right now to tell me that things are going to be below 6% by the end of the year. I do believe that we will definitely see that in 2026. However, just a matter of when, not if.
Remind me again, where
What are your
are we
thoughts, Doug?
versus where? Well, where are we versus where we were at this point last year?
We're at a full point difference. I mean, it's
Yeah.
amazing. It's still at a place right now where a lot of folks that did buy last year may have gotten in the high sixes, low sevens. I'm still encouraging a lot of those folks to hang tight on a refinance. I'm not like one of those guys that goes out and just wants to refi right now, right now, right now. There's no point in doing it 2 or 3 times and absorbing 2 or 3 different sets of closing costs. So, I firmly believe that we're heading in the right direction. Again, it's been right at a point of relief, 1% lower on most loan products, and I mean, I'm tickled to death about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Good insight. Appreciate that, Ben. Let's move on. That's our timer. Our next topic is due diligence. So, in the real estate world, due diligence is happening after you get under contract, right? You know some things about the house going in, but you lock in the contract. Then, when you have the home inspection done, you have the appraisal done, you find out what's really happening with the house, and you decide, hey, am I really ready to move forward on this commitment that I've made? Is there room for maybe some negotiation down the line? So, right now, we're just doing our due diligence. I did some due diligence recently because I've been a YouTube subscriber for years. My team, the Wolfpack, just like your team, the Cardinals, are in the ACC. That means ESPN, right? We lost that
Right.
a couple of weeks ago. So I had to make the switch to Hulu. And I did it because, hey, I wanted to watch the Wolfpack and wanted to watch the ACC. My opinion, Hulu sucks. I hate the interface. It's nothing like I was used to with YouTube. And as soon as I saw that YouTube and ESPN, mended their fences with Disney or whatever, I was right back right away. Tell me about you.
Right.
Who you with? How do you watch? What's your thoughts on it?
So I'm a YouTube TV subscriber, and obviously for those 2 weeks, I couldn't watch my Louisville Cardinals even play Kentucky in our huge rivalry basketball game unless I subscribed to ESPN, which included Disney Plus and Hulu. I went ahead and bit the bullet, so now I have two subscriptions. Two more, an additional one. I had Disney Plus anyway, which I did that just because Luke likes scrolling through some of that stuff. And, I'm an old Star Wars geek, so I like watching some Star Wars stuff, the old stuff, not the new stuff they put out. They ruined Star Wars, in my opinion. It's been awful. But, I mean, some of the new cartoons, some of the new stuff like that, I can vibe with the story. But the three recent movies were just atrocious. They were awful. And I made a big presentation too on it. I packed out a movie theater 3 different times for client appreciation events, and all of my clients and myself left horrified at what they did. So anyway, I'm the type. I've got way too many subscriptions. It's almost like they get into these fights on purpose because then they can then people have to cross over to the ESPN app to buy their service when you're already paying for it through your YouTube TV subscription. It's pretty ridiculous.
It is. It feels completely contrived, right? And like ESPN totally did it on purpose because apparently they have this whole new app that Disney created that they intentionally were trying to pull people off to drive to their app, which isn't surprising at all. But long story short, I'm paying basically the same thing back with YouTube TV that Hulu is. I did have Hulu for the past month. I paused YouTube TV, so there wasn't a whole lot of overlap. But I'm back. To me, it comes down to usability and just being customer friendly with actually finding what I'm looking to see. So ultimately, that was my due diligence, and that was the decision I made.
Well, it's almost like they're fighting like up in Washington, people fight, right? Now we got the TV streaming services fighting with each other and channels and all this stuff. I just get tired of it. It can't. I mean, sign an agreement, get it over with. No people want to watch the programming that you offer, and everybody just get it together.
Man, we
it looks
really
like
wanted
too,
to get
Doug,
rid
an
of cable,
interesting.
right?
Yeah, really. And an interesting stat, too. It looks like over 60% of viewers now rotate subscriptions monthly. It makes
Wow.
retention harder and prompting more price adjustments. So people are kind of diving in for a little while, watching what they want, then canceling it and going to something else to watch what they want there. I guess binge watching is the end all here all right now.
Definitely, when it comes to those miniseries or whatever, that's definitely the case. You'll pop on for a month to watch all the episodes and then get off. But speaking of that, we got to move on to the next topic. So, fix this. Hey, Ben, you been to a live event lately where you had to pay for parking or tickets? What do you think about that?
Oh,
I'll
yeah.
give you an example. So I've got NC State basketball season tickets, and so I've got season parking passes. But as you're pulling in, it shows the per game price. This year, per game parking is $30. Now I get it; we're in the era where we got to pay for things, but $30 for a parking spot? What you
Yeah.
thinking about that?
I think that's insane. Absolutely insane. You already pay enough for tickets and you pay enough for concessions and everything else that goes into it. And then you got to pay $30 to park your vehicle in a paved parking lot that I'm sure has been paid for 1,000 times over through all the inordinate fees with tickets and also prior parking fees that they've collected over the years. It's just more price gouging at the highest level. We go to a lot of Panthers games, and when we go up to Charlotte, I pay $40 in some cases. We're not staying at a downtown hotel to park there. At that point, it's a cost of doing business. I kind of get that piece, but like for NC State or any other place that like a university, right? That there's no need to charge $30. When I pay $40 in Charlotte, I'm paying in an off campus, if you will, or off stadium parking lot. You're actually parking in NC State's parking lot, right? So why $30? I don't think it makes a lot of sense.
Well, they do share it with the Canes, but still, it's like they don't have full control. And what's even worse is concessions. The first game we went to, it was a weeknight. I was like, okay, I'm going to get a water and a Pepsi or whatever. It was 13.50. I said, well, hell, I might as well have had a beer if I was going to pay 13
Right.
bucks. Come on.
Right. I
Anyways, I
mean, it's
mean, that's easy
insane.
to gripe, but I'm still going to be at the games, because I love my pack. And man, we're really excited about the season this year, hoping that we can keep pace with the Cardinals because y'all are looking good too this year.
They look really good. I'm so excited to finally have Cardinal basketball back in the realm of reality where they should be, of relevancy. And NC State's looking good too. And I'm certainly not picking on NC State. I'm sure there's a whole lot more out there, a whole lot of other places out there that are charging a lot of money for parking. So, for my buddy Doug over there, go Pack.
Very nice. I appreciate that. All right, let's move on. That's our timer. Next is the counteroffer. So, cell phones were banned in classrooms in North Carolina this year. How's that affecting Luke? Does he have a cell
I mean,
phone? Is he
well,
taking it to school?
so no, he doesn't. We've talked about that, and we're not ready to do that just yet. Also, he's in third grade. And his
Yeah.
phones aren't allowed at his school anyway in that manner. I will tell you this: I watched a video online of a student in Texas who maced their teacher when the teacher took their phone from them because they were behaving poorly with their phone and not paying attention in class. The 16-year-old girl maced her teacher in Texas. It was unbelievable. I watched the video that was posted on social media. It's a disgrace. I mean, there's got to be some accountability. Kids, don't get on your phone at school. I personally have a job where I have to be on my phone, but if I had a job that did not allow me to and I knew I'd get fired from said job, probably a good idea to put the phone away. You're learning work habits in the classroom in school to take into the workplace with you. Probably best to put that phone away. And certainly don't mace your teacher when they take it from you and hold you accountable.
No, please, no teacher macing or hitting or throwing things or whatever. My counter offer to that is I'm glad my kids have phones. It's really hard to put in perspective what our parents must have felt like, but they didn't know any better, that we were just gone and I'll see you in 10 hours or whatever. That's wild to think about today because we want to look out for our kids, and because we have the option to do that, we're using it. Like, I love 360 because I know where my kids are. I can make sure they're okay. Everett got his driver's license this week. Yesterday he drove to
Oh,
school
Lord.
for the first time, him and his brother. So I mean, they're out there, they're doing it now, so those things are important. And our kids actually are able to get on during breaks at school, which I think that's the counter offer. Is it makes sense. Yeah, I've seen some of these schools where they take your phone when you get there and they put it in one of those lock bags and you get it back at the end of the day. To me, I guess it depends on the environment that you're operating in. Obviously, you don't want them on it in class when they should be paying attention, but between class, lunch, something like that, so they can check in, or parents need to let them know something that's going on. They don't have to go through the office. As always, there should be some sort of a middle ground there.
And I'm good with that. I mean, if the kids, and I'm certain your kids are acting responsibly with theirs. And when Lucas gets to a driving age, he'll already have a phone. I mean, I'm not against that at all. But at 8 years old, it's a little over the top, in my opinion. Also, the principal, Dr. Dotson of Wilmington Christian Academy, has made plead after plea to the parents, and before the school year starts, in person, announcing to all of us, please don't get your kids cell phones right now. There's plenty of time for the world to try to infiltrate their mindsets and what's going on. So, I'm holding out. I'm holding on for dear life with that for right now. But I do like the idea. It's like last night we were at the UNCW basketball game. I sit and watch the game. Luke likes to go with his friends and, run around and do whatever while the game's going on from time to time. And I find myself watching to see where he's at more so than I am watching the game. Whereas if I had a little Apple Watch on his arm or something like that,
Yeah.
perhaps I would feel more comfortable. But it is what it is. I don't think there's a right or wrong to it, as long as your kid's acting responsibly with the phone.
Yeah, I think it probably comes more down to the kid. and the environment than it does the device itself. But anyways, let's move on next to getting local. Hey, we're both in North Carolina, Central and Eastern North Carolina. We love living in this state, best state in the union, in my opinion. No offense to Kentucky, where you come from, because it's a great state too. It's right up there, but you're here in North Carolina now. You're one of us, so we're going to roll with it that way. Let's talk about, what are you doing locally now? What's fun? What's new that you've tried out? What are we recommended to folks? One thing I love about living in North Carolina, and that me and my family do every year, is we go down to our place at the beach for the holidays. We typically will go Christmas and stay through New Year's over the break. It's mild then. You can get out and walk the dogs. Restaurants aren't crowded. Not a lot of people down there. It's so serene. How do you take advantage of living in coastal North Carolina this time of year?
I mean, I just love it. I moved here from Kentucky in 2013, and I absolutely love it here. I've made a life here, a family. I mean, I wouldn't have my son had I not moved to North Carolina. I wouldn't have had my Luke. But I'll tell you something we have found it really fun to do locally here in Wilmington are UNCW basketball games. You talk about a family-friendly environment and a great college basketball atmosphere. The student section's going nuts. The fans are into it. You feel safe and secure in there. They treat you right. The concessions aren't overpriced. It is a great experience, and I highly recommend a UNCW college basketball game. They've got a great team this year. They're really, really good. It's good. It's terrific D1 basketball with great competition. It's just good stuff. So we've really been diving into that. And obviously, to your point, Doug, in mid-December, you can walk on the beach typically in a T-shirt and shorts. So it's definitely got its advantages there as well. But there's a plethora of things to do. But here lately, we've really been diving into UNCW basketball. You got 18, 19 home games a season. There's not a bad seat in the house. And like I said, it's a great family environment and a great college basketball atmosphere as far as the fans and the student section. It's terrific. How about you guys?
Well, I mean, we're going to be at the Lenovo Center as much as we can for every basketball game for the pack that we can. We've already been there for four. They're heading to Maui next week, so we're not going to see them for a couple of weeks. We've got two more NC State football games left. We got Florida State this weekend, and then the Dirty Foot Club coming in next week for our last home game of the year. So we'll be at that. I mean, we're eat up with NC State sports. I
Dirty
mean, we've
Foot
got
Club.
season tickets for both, so we're always going to be there as much as possible. But I don't know if you knew this fact. My first real big job after college was I was the director of ticketing at UNCW Athletics. My office was in Trask. Trask is an amazing
Yeah.
atmosphere. I love the Seahawks. I went to UNCW my freshman year. I always have a soft spot in my heart for the Hawks. I love seeing them do great because Wilmington is such a great community. I'm so glad that they have a team that they can support there, and all those folks are down there aren't supporting, one of these other teams down the road to the west of where I am right now.
Hey man, I mean they have a great following. I mean, passionate fans
Yeah.
and passionate coaches and players too. So yeah, we love it, Doug. We love it. We're very blessed.
Absolutely. Right there in your backyard. So let's move on. That's our timer. Final walkthrough. So this week, in a house final walkthrough, you go to the house to make sure everything looks great before you go to where? The closing table, right? That's kind of your last look at the house before you go sign the docs and make it yours. So before you get to the closing table, this week, thinking about the final walkthrough, I want to talk about how small wins can beat big resolutions. How do you make goals for yourself? When I talk to my team, I tell them the way to achieve your long term goal is to win your short term goals, right? Don't bite off more than you can chew. It's a lot to say, hey, I want to do this over 6 months, or I want to do this over 8 months. I say win the day. How are you winning your days? How do you tell you folks around you, suggest how they win their day?
Doug, it's being consistent. I think a lot of that is consistency and just showing up and having a good attitude. Wearing a smile on your face. It doesn't do anybody any good to be negative and be a fuddy-duddy, if you will. It breeds bad negative thoughts and ultimately bad actions at that point. So I think it's consistency, showing up, getting up every day with I have a chip on my shoulder to be successful, right? I have a chip on my shoulder in a good way to make sure that my clients get to the closing table on time every time. And that's just the way it is. I take a lot of pride in what I do. So I think if you have a combination of you care, you're concerned about the work that you do to make sure that everybody is as happy as they possibly can be, and that you meet your clients' goals. To me, I get an ultimate satisfaction from those things. So, my job, and I feel like yours too, Doug, it makes it easy to feel good about what we do, because we get to get our clients the keys to their home at an affordable price and an affordable level, and seeing the smile on the kids' faces. I mean, you even get to interact more than I do with them, because you're physically there showing them homes. A lot of what I do is either digital or over the phone with my clients. Now, obviously, being local, they can come into my office, but you get to spend a lot more face time with these folks, and seeing the light in their eyes and the smiles on their faces when they hear those words clear to close and they're signing those documents at the table. It's a beautiful thing. I mean, who wouldn't get up for that, right? Who wouldn't want to consistently perform every day to see that reaction?
I love that. My goal today was just to get through this. And I think we've done pretty good. And I'm just so excited to be here and doing this. We've had a lot of fun. So I love it. We're at closing time now. This is the closing table. My thing for moving through the closing time is I just want to give gratitude for having the opportunity to do this with you, man, and my job, but also have the opportunity to try this new thing with you. This is really exciting.
I'm having a ball. We're gonna, and this is our inaugural show, right? So we're gonna dive into a lot more topics. It's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be fresh, and most importantly, it's gonna be relevant. So, Doug, I love being alongside you doing this. I love talking to you anyway. So this just gives me another opportunity to do something I already love.
Yeah, man. And this has been fantastic. I love it. For everyone who's tuned in, thanks so much for watching. Please like, please subscribe so you see when our next episode comes out. Our goal really is going to be to do this every week. So we hope you'll plan for it. We hope you'll tune in. Send us stuff you want to hear us talk about. You can leave a comment. You can reach out to one of us directly. We'd love to hear you. We want to be interactive. We want to talk about things that are timely. More than anything, we want to have fun. So until next time, we'll see you at the closing table.
We'd also love to give a big shout out to our sponsor, New Leaf Home Inspections. From the Triangle to the coast, these home inspection professionals have you covered. Give them a call today.